These highlights of the SPAR Women's Challenge Durban, incorporating the SPAR Grand Prix, are proudly brought to you by SPAR in association with Athletics South Africa. The second SPAR Grand Prix race of 2024 took place in Durban on the penultimate weekend of June. A huge field of 10,000 excited women lined up for the 10-kilometer challenge and 5-kilometer fun run and walk. The atmosphere was alive with excitement and anticipation, the elite athletes looking for fast times and possibly even prize money, while the others were looking forward to a challenging and fun-filled journey around the Durban beachfront. The start was near the Kings Park Athletics track and the route headed north towards the Umgeni River, where a right turn took them past Blue Lagoon and then southwards next to the ocean on Snell Parade. At this stage, the 5-kilometer participants were still there. Before reaching the Suncoast Casino, the runners turned right and shortly afterwards, the route split. The fun runners turning back to the finish and the runners in the longer race continuing southwards down Masabala Yangwa Avenue to Kingsmead Cricket Stadium. After looping around Kingsmead, they retraced their steps along Masabalala Yangwa, passing runners coming the other way. After passing the Moses Mabhida Stadium, they reached the finish at Kings Park Rugby Stadium. Many runners sported their colourful club colours, while others wore their iconic Apricot Crush SPAR t-shirt. Runners in the older age groups proudly displayed their age tags in the 4 age categories, ranging from 40 to over 70 years. Each runner had her own reason for being there.
It feels good. I'm happy to be back. It's nice being away for university and everything in America, but there's just something different about being home. I'm just hoping for a PB. The last race I ran, which was a week ago, for the 10K was a 39:47, so I'm hoping to just get lower than that this time.
It is like seeing all the people running, like even if you're not a runner, even just walking, everyone coming together to run, it's amazing, like the joy and the passion for the sports.
I'm excited about running the SPAR ladies race. After comrades, I just want to loosen up my legs here, so I'm excited. Thank you.
I'm just here to run for fun, but also remember to run my PB. I want to break my PB today.
What is your PB?
42.
I'm ready for today. I'm going to go out and have fun, and I'm going to race for gender-based violence against women, and that's the main reason why we do the SPAR.
At exactly 8 a.m, they set off on their journey. The fastest runners, those aiming for a time under 34 minutes, prize money and Grand Prix points, were at the front, and because it was a wide start, they got away cleanly. Conditions in June in the middle of a Durban winter are normally ideal for running, and this being an extremely fast and flat route, really quick times and a number of personal best times were likely. After just a few hundred meters, the field started to separate, setting the pace. Up front were 2 Nedbank International runners, one of them double SPAR Grand Prix winner Tadu Nare, with a host of other elite athletes happy to follow her fast initial pace. Behind them, the massive runners moved along, settling into their own personal rhythms. By now, the Tadu Nare group had settled into a predictable pattern, with more than 20 runners less than 15 meters behind the leader. Keeping Nare company were 2 Lesotho runners, Blandina Makatisi and Madineo Mahloko, in the black colors of Max de Lead. In Nedbank green were Ethiopians Dinia Abaraya and Ayantu Terefe, all of which gave the race a clear international flavor. Back at the start, the slower runners and walkers were still starting their race. Selfies and videos were taken and no one seemed to be in a hurry. Up to 2 hours on the road seemed likely for some of these ladies. Not so their leads, and the lead group was approaching 1 kilometer. The group had thinned down, but 11 runners still kept contact. Now, for the first time, Nare was challenged as Loveness Madziva moved into the lead. Passing the 1 kilometer mark, Nare didn't respond and kept her same pace, while the same Nedbank and Maxed Elite runners remained in contention. Now, for the first time, Glen Rostraba in the raid of boxer made her presence felt. In fine form, the current SPAR Grand Prix leader was certain to be a contender later in the race. SPAR supports a national campaign aimed at ending gender-based violence, a national scourge that affects thousands of South African women on a daily basis. Motor manufacturer Proton is a proud co-sponsor of the SPAR Grand Prix. They supplied a car to transport SPAR's and GBV ambassador, Warrior Rick, and SPAR Race ambassador and former SPAR protest netball player Precious Mthembu to Inanda to learn about the amazing work done by the Snethemba Women's Foundation. They spoke to Sine Mbata, co-founder of the foundation.
I am the founder of Snethemba Women's Foundation. And we currently run a multi-purpose skills center for women and young children in Inanda. Back in 2019, actually one of the first few programs that we started running were a menstrual hygiene program. And SPAR actually was one of our first responders. We got a huge donation, and that's how Snethemba Women's Foundation started actually. And then it grew bigger, and we decided to make menstrual hygiene a fundamental part of Snethemba Women's Foundation, not just in terms of distributing sanitary towels. We have menstrual hygiene programs that we run in schools, and now we, under our Sustainable Womanhood program, we are looking into really fortifying the use of reusable sanitary towels, so that instead of buying them from other people, we use the women that we upskill. We make off-take agreements with the women that we've upskilled, and they can sustain their own businesses. The buzzwords now are sustainable development. When we are speaking about sustainable development, you cannot speak about women and how they are agents of change, how they grow communities, how they grow their family and the next person's family, their neighbor. So that's why women, because women bring change. I think the one that caught your eye was the one that says "Sekwanele," which means we've had enough. It's enough now. It's actually one of our most popular boards when we do our walks as well, because that is the spirit that we also have. It's not just victimhood, it's a fierce spirit where we've had enough, and it's time for change, it's time for growth. They want change, they're hungry for change. I mean, we see women in the center who, they're not here for a handout, they're here with a plan. If you walk up the road, you'll start to see containers. The containers are small businesses actually, and these are the women that we target for our program, the She Means Business program. And through this program, we target these women, we put them through a program where we offer them small business workshops, as well as skills development programs. And we don't just run this by ourselves. We also rely on corporate companies as well as government structures to really just put it in as many hands as possible to make sure that this program is sustainable. And that's what we want. We want something that's going to change someone's lives. There are so many men who are just helping out. We have a program called One Man Can. And this program is run by the men who are part of our organization exclusively. And these men, on a monthly basis, they meet together and they have discussions pertaining to the problems that men face, to really identify the root cause of why is there so much violence in Inanda. From those specific meetings, then would have an awareness program specifically arising from whatever would have come up during those meetings. At the moment, we also have a career development program. It's called Iksasa Lenja, which means our youth's future. And our career development program is not just for young girls. We actually work with a number of high schools here, and they use our computer center as well. And the whole point of our computer center is not just for skills development training, it's also a learning center. It's also a center where you can really have the resources to do what you need to do to succeed.
As SPAR, we are very passionate about women empowerment. When we launched the SPAR Petal Pets, we selected them because they were distributing pets in schools and they're helping women so that they are able to live the life that they always wanted to live. And we believe in women because, number one, they are our customers, they shop in our stores, and they are the nurturers of the communities.
Making a sustainable difference in someone's life are these very small but consistent efforts. We take it from step A to step B. So we haven't touched millions of lives or not thousands of lives, but those 50 lives have been changed consistently and followed up on all the time. And that for me is making a change in someone's life. You need that push. And so I've been lucky enough to have someone or people pushing me towards the right direction. And that's allowed me to push those 50 people towards the right direction. So yes, we've made a difference.
Back to the SPAR Grand Prix race, where 7 runners have managed to stay with Nare and Kaba. It was clear on the faces of the runners that the pace was fast. They were working really hard to stay in touch, vital in a race of this distance. The longer they could hang in with the leader, the better their chances of a really fast time. Losing contact often results in a significant slowing down. Moving south along the promenade, the group was reduced again and now consists of 6 runners who are likely to form the nucleus of the top 10 at the end. A seriously successful outcome in a race of this stature. Tadunare Glenrose Kaba, Blandina Makatisi, Neheng Katala, Ayantu Terefe and Diina Abaraya were the 6 leaders out there right now, with Kaba being the lone South African in the mix. And this group has steadily increased the lead over the chasing runners by some margin. The 6 of them hung together, no one wanting to throw down the gauntlet to the others. This would come later, no doubt. Some way back in the field, plenty was happening in the chasing pack. Lebo Palula Mzazi, the leading over 40 runner, was all on her own. Not a great place to be. Now she was being chased down by another former SPAR Grand Prix winner, Yvette van Zyl, who was showing her amazing versatility over multiple distances today. Up front, things were happening as well, as Tadu was winding up for her characteristic late race surge. Only Glenrose, who true to form, was bravely hanging in there. Tadu told us what she thinks of Glenrose's tactics.
She was a big threat. I can see that from the time I started in 2019 and now I have seen a very big improvement. So it's like end development, and it's wonderful to see this, because if you do not race with other international racers, you won't know what you have and you won't be able to push yourself to the best of your ability in order to improve yourself. So the fact that we are here challenging her, I think has enabled her to push herself and to achieve this. And I know that there's a lot more that's in her, and she can achieve even even better. But I was actually motivated by her, and she actually gave me the morale because I saw how hard she was working, how fast she was going. That actually encouraged me to run even faster. So I was very happy and encouraged to run next to her.
This was the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th places as the runners headed towards Kingsmead Cricket Stadium. Blandina Makatisi of Max to lead, Nedbank's Dinia Abaraya and Neheng Khatala have much at stake, given the differences between prize money and Grand Prix points between 3rd and 5th. At this stage, it was anyone's guess who would come out on top. The rivalry between Tadu Nare and Glenrose Kaba, which has continued for 2 years, was happening again in the Durban Grand Prix. Kaba explained what her goals are for this year's SPAR Grand Prix.
When it comes to SPAR Grand Prix, I'm looking forward to regain the title, because I was having a lot of challenges when it comes to injuries. So now it's time to rebuild for myself to bring back the title. I know it will be very hard for me, but I need to believe myself and work very hard and be dedicated all the time.
As Makatisi edged ahead of Khatala for third spot, Tadu was putting in her trademark late race surge. The two runners have gone around the Kingsmead Cricket Stadium and were well into the second half of the race. The Ethiopian athlete has been dominant in the SPAR Grand Prix, pretty much unbeatable in the past years, and has dominated the series, winning back-to-back titles. Glenrose has been the only runner to have mounted any sort of challenge to Nare, and in the process elevated herself to being undisputed #1 South African middle distance athlete, both on the road and on the track. Once again, Tadu appeared to be winning a major race with ease, looking untroubled out there. In her amazing SPAR Grand Prix career, her substantial earnings from both race wins and from overall Grand Prix winnings have enabled her to build a home for her family in Ethiopia. She's also graduated to an internationally ranked marathon runner at the tender age of 23. Glenrose was now on her own in the second place after 7 kilometers. With 3 to go, her cushion over Neheng Khatala was less than 20 seconds, not necessarily enough to guarantee her position at the end. But she has always been a strong finisher with lots of experience to keep her rival at bay. Khatala, who comes from Lesotho, has a busy life and has to take care to balance the twin challenges of her running career and her studies.
Yeah, I'm very proud, but trust me, it's very hard to balance studies and running at the same time. I have to be very careful because sometimes I spend sleepless nights, and then the following day I have to make sure that I put on my shoes, wash and go for a run. It's very difficult. I did my diploma in marketing, and then I wanted to do sports science. And then I was like, let me just check which university that I can maybe apply to do sports science. And then I looked at all the universities in South Africa, and then I had to choose very wisely in terms of maybe sports-wise. And I was like, let me just accommodate their Tswana studies somewhere there, then I can at least speak Tswana, maybe just mix. So I feel it's a nice, it's home. I feel like South Africa is my second home. It's very lovely.
Tadu was now heading back to the finish and was approaching the giant Moses Mabhida Soccer Stadium. It now looked certain that a really achieved time of under 32 minutes was likely. Even though she was well ahead, Tadu kept pushing herself as hard as possible. The incentive of setting up a personal best time over the 10-kilometer distance in these ideal conditions and on a super fast course was a powerful motivator. The SPAR Grand Prix is now a key part of her annual race plan.
This is my starting point. It's from here that I grew into running other international races, half marathon and marathon. And it has developed me, and I have matured immensely. And I love it so much. You know, the environment, the people, the culture is so wonderful. So now it's not just about getting something out of it, but also about giving back, because I want to encourage the locals, the South African athletes, to develop and to be the best that they can be. You know, I would like to give more than, you know, my expertise than just take. So yeah, it's a wonderful part of my life, basically.
The SPAR Grand Prix rules this year, with 4 results out of the 5 races to count at the end, means that a runner can miss a single race. Having skipped Cape Town in March, Tadu now needs to run the remaining 3 races to repeat her overall victory. As she arrived at the finish at Kingsmead, a massive 43 seconds, or about 150 meters on the grass, separated her from Glenrose. Today was super special for her. Another SPAR Grand Prix win and a world-class personal best time into the bargain. It was no surprise that the crowd gave her a rich, warm, generous welcome. They know class when they see it.
When I came here, I had a plan in mind, and that's to run sub 31. That was my plan, and I kept pushing myself. Even though I hadn't achieved that, all in all, the result was good. I came first, and I'm glad and I'm happy.
Glenrose Kaba of Boxer held on to take second place ahead of Neheng Khatala. Kaba's finishing time of 31.56 was just 1 second slower than her lifetime best. Khatala finished in 32.13, a brilliant performance by the Lesotho runner. This was turning out to be a day of super fast times, as was expected. Afterwards, both runners expressed happiness with their performances.
I'm feeling very happy about the race. From the gunpoint, I know very well that it will be very fast. So I decided to go with the group from the gunpoint. I know that the change will come once come to the 3Ks. I'm always building myself to become very fast, to be fast always and challenge the internationals. And I'm very happy that they can able to run with us and with the pace that is suitable for us, and suitable but very fast.
I'm very happy with my performance today. I came with the plan that, today I just give it all. I can do it top 3 or not. But we came with the plan that we just have to run and feel good at the end of the day. I and Coach will always say it's just trying to find the balance between and then trust the process. We're just putting all things together. And then I have the guys training there, Posh group, Roy and other groups. Sometimes we go long runs, we do long runs together. So Northwest is very nice place to be, study for studies, nice facilities, everything you want is there.
Blandina Makatisi was 4th, 1 place ahead of Dinia Abaraya, and the battle for 6th spot was close between Yvette van Zyl and Ayantu Terefe until the Ethiopian runner misjudged the final turn, allowing Yvette to move ahead.
I'm excited about how my race went. I wanted to come close to 33 minutes. I missed that a bit. It was 33.09. Wanted to come top 5, got 6. So I missed both of them. But I'm happy overall with the performance. My speed is coming back slowly. But I caught some few ladies after 4Ks. The start was a bit fast for me. But overall the conditions was great. This is always one of my favorite SPAR races because it was my first SPAR race ever. So when I was back 14 years old, so that's quite a long time ago. But the weather was perfect and it was just a great day out, enjoying it with all the ladies and just taking in the vibe. And I'm at an age now that I feel like I can enjoy the running and just be part of the special moments and just not take it for granted.
This was one of the finest 10K women's races ever in South Africa, with Tadu Nare winning in 31.14 and lifetime best. After Glenrose's 31.57, another 4 runners broke 33 minutes, like Lisile Sosibo, Karabo Mailula, and Madineo Mahloko, another Lesotho runner, all made the top 10. Abaraya took the junior prize ahead of Anele Ndawonde and Ngubo Nganati, both from Umzimkhulu. Twins Lebupalula Mzazi and Lebogampalula Lutuli were the top over 40s. Also in fast times, Elizabeth Potter won the over 50s ahead of Anne Stewart, with Ronald Thomas grabbing another podium position. Judy Bird remains dominant in the over 60s, winning in a brilliant 41.05, and that's ahead of SPAR's stalwarts Grace de Oliveira and Karen Broff. Road running legend Blanche Muila finished yet another SPAR race. After 40 years in the sport, the Savages runners still inspires a whole generation of runners.
This is a platform where you can be who you want to be. And you don't race against other women. It's about you to see where your level of fitness is. And you're running for time, not so much just position. And the atmosphere is always electric. And of course, in my hometown, I'd never miss that.
After 2 races in the SPAR Grand Prix, Glenrose Kaba leads with 59 points. Tadu Nare has 30, but she has only run a single race. This year, the exciting news is that Proton will give one lucky runner a brand new Proton X50 SUV at the end of the season after a draw involving all the races. In addition, the top South African on the standings will get to drive a Proton X50 SUV for a year.
We love women in sport. We think it's an absolute great opportunity. This is our second year, and last year was just so fabulous to see so many women coming together in sport.
As the thousands of slower runners and walkers crossed the line and received their medal in an amazing goodie bag, the crowd was entertained by the performers of the day, which included Kings of the Weekend, the kickstands with Ross Charles and Busiswa. Then it was time for the Snetamba Women's Foundation to be presented with a check for 100,000 Rand. The prize giving rounded off a wonderful day in the bright Durban sunshine. Neheng Khatala of Lesotho in third place, then the crowd's favorite and top South African Glenrose Kaba in second. Finally, to great applause and with a brand new personal best of 31:13 for the upteenth time, a SPAR Grand Prix race winner. It was Tadunare of Nedbank. Join us for the next race in the SPAR Grand Prix in Tshwane on August the 3rd. Goodbye. These highlights of the SPAR Women's Challenge Durban, incorporating the SPAR Grand Prix, were proudly brought to you by SPAR in association with Athletics South Africa.